This is a Headgum podcast.
Lil Rel!
We can discuss, give me your truths, it never fails.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's another episode of Keepin Rel with
Young Wayne.
And today we got a special guest in the building.
How special is she?
Well, for a few reasons. First of all, she's an author. She's a manager. She's a public speaker.
Wow.
She's also my everything.
Aww.
Whoa. Wow.
We have in the building I don't know. Hey, man, shibbity dilbos. Dannella Lane.
All right. I'm clapping at Dannella Lane. Dinella in her own lane.
In her own lane. Like, it's so crazy because this conversation, it could go so many different ways.
How you want to start this?
Well, what I want to start with first is you telling your story, because like I think what you and your amazing daughters have pulled off. Like when I first, it's funny too. Like before ever meeting you, seeing Danny and Dana, like do that call to like they had this viral videos like in like they school uniforms, which like
Yeah.
like so when you first started doing that, right? And that because that's where all this coming to LA and all this stuff happens from that. Was it just happenstance that y'all decided to make these videos and you posted it and it went viral?
Yeah, no, that was a call, a cry out for help. That was a call to Jesus moment because I was going through a divorce. I had been married for 17 years and literally found myself just on the side of the bed, 4 kids, no money, one income, just like not knowing. And so I was like, God, if this is going to be my story, I need fresh fire, fresh wind. Like, you're going to have to show up. You're going to have to do something. And I remember just taking the girls to, well, rewind a little bit. That wasn't their first viral video. The first viral video was Dana was in kindergarten and Danny was in first grade. And your kids really pay attention to you. Like, all the time. They really do. And the last real argument that I had with their dad, he wanted the wedding ring back. And I told him, yeah, I mean, listen, I'll give you this ring. I ain't gonna give you, I'm not gonna go back to you, right? And so Dana, in turn, she goes to school and there's this little boy that likes her. And he's like, yo, like, I like you, but I like this 4th grader too. So I'm gonna go with the 4th grader. And he's in kindergarten. And she was like, no, you're not. Like, how dare you, right? Me? Like, as good as I am, me? And so the next day he comes and he's like, well, I have this bracelet. Like, can I now persuade you to go with me? And she's like, I'll take your bracelet, but I won't take you. So that was the first viral video. That landed them on the Talk. And we were on the Rel and Steve Harvey. And then the next video, 3 months later, I'm just trying to find out what my place in life is, right? I have this new footing and like, I'm just trying to figure out where we're gonna go. We had moved to Atlanta because we were staying in the suburbs, and I was taking them to school, private school one day, and I was so frustrated in traffic. And Danny goes, Mom, like, everybody just need to relax. Y'all need to call Jesus. Like, y'all need to get yourselves together. They were going to a Christian school, and this is when I realized that the girls and I used to do Bible study at home together, and I realized that they were taking in Scripture, and they were able to not just quote it, but have revelation and understanding. And so I was like, wait, what did you say again? I was like, tell me again. And then that little one, she's like, listen, don't call Tyrone. You need to call Jesus. Tyrone can't help you. So then that video went like super viral, and that's what kind of convinced and helped initiate our move out here.
Wow. Who's recording this?
Me.
Okay.
Me.
Okay.
Right? But you know what's so funny is I'm just the mom. I didn't see, like, I could see, like, this little thing. Because Danny had already told me, yo, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be on TV. And I was like, everybody want to be famous.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to pray about it. She was like, 4. I'm going to pray about it. And I was like, all right.
4?
Yeah. So she goes, she prays about it. Next year, she's like on TV. I was like, dang, girl, what kind of juice you got?
Right to the front of the line.
Like, really, really.
Wow.
But yeah, and so that's what kind of led us out here. Still didn't really have a real idea of what to expect. Like, I didn't know there was a such thing as pilot season.
Right.
I didn't even know you needed headshots. I just knew my kids wanted to come.
You know, and it's funny watching you talk about it now. And like, first of all, like I gotta like make sure I stay out of my smitten space of you, right? Because it's like, you know, y'all gotta realize something. Because what most people don't understand with us, right? And we'll go more into everything just because I don't want to forget this. But we met twice. Like the first time I met her, I didn't meet her. We just both had G-Wagons and we were sitting next to each other. I was getting tested for my game show. Yeah. And they were getting tested, the daughters on Keepin. And so I just happened to be looking over there. I was kind of trying to get her to like, man, shorty fine, right? I remember, I'm being honest.
That's exactly what you said, huh?
That's exactly what I was thinking, but I was like trying to like do something cool. The kids were the only ones that paid attention to me. She wasn't paying me no mind. She was on her phone looking at stuff or whatever. With her little feet up. That's so funny because I can remember your feet being up, like just up, just sitting there casually in the truck.
Kind of like her feet up right
Yeah.
now. She be chilling.
But in the truck.
Okay.
Right? And so she's sitting like that because she had the white G-Wagon. It was just weird that we both had these G-Wagons literally parked next to each other.
The only ones in the parking lot.
The only ones there. So we just sitting and waiting on our results. You know what I mean? Because that's when it was like, you know, that's when they was all wearing lab coats and everything had on. They're like, we'll be right out to you in a second. You wait in your car. It was like these very specific instructions on how to take a COVID test. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, damn, this is scary. But that was the first time ever I saw her. And I was just like, damn, but she wouldn't pay me no mind at all. But I'm like, damn, she fine. I just left it to let it be. Like, all right, well, she be those.
But what's funny is, so when we came out of testing, his truck was to the left, mine was to the right. And my baby girl at the time said, ooh, mama, look, a black G-Wagon like yours. Y'all should get married. Like black and white. Y'all should get married, right? Like your trucks, of course. Right. His window tint is dark and mine is dark, so I don't know who's in there. And of course, I'm not really paying attention. I'm a manager, so I'm managing my kids. I'm answering emails. But yeah, and so like she spoke that up. And then fast forward months later.
I think that's what was fascinating. I fell into a rabbit hole with you. You know, we met again at Megan Good's screening for Harlem. And, you know, I went up there and said something. And then she walked to me and said, man, thank you for, you know, everything I said or whatever. And I just couldn't stop looking at you from that time. I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Did you realize it was the same person?
Not yet. Nope, not really. Nope. I ain't even put that together. I just couldn't stop looking at her.
Okay.
And then I went to Megan's page and stalked Megan's page to find her. Like, who the fuck is
Somebody got to post a picture somewhere.
Yeah, it got to be a tag somewhere. And I found that, and then, you know, I fell into a rabbit hole going through her Instagram. Like, who the fuck is this lady with these daughters? Like, she got these grown-ass kids. How old is she? Like, you know, I was thinking all that stuff, and I'm like, wow. It's like you just start seeing a story, and it wasn't until I saw you guys giving back I was so impressed by that, which is why they had like a goal, and I was like, all right, I'm going to just
give them the goal.
I'm going to meet the goal for them.
And not say nothing.
Okay.
That's what he did.
Because I really thought it was dope what y'all was doing. It wasn't even like, because sometimes when I tell this story, people thought I was doing it to get your attention. I really just like, you know, it's funny because me and you, we'll go to places now and people tell you about like how my Instagram lives and stuff. I was in a period where I was just like giving to stuff, organizations and just randomly doing shit because I liked the story of it. Yeah. Even at that point, bro, I was like I helped like a mom move from her abusive husband. Like I literally got
on your live.
I talked to him and I did everything and made sure they were good.
Yep.
And so I was in that space anyway, right? It's like, all right. But then she hit me up like, what did you do? Like, hey, did you just do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I think what y'all doing is dope. Like we was, you know.
I thought it was him trying to that was his game. I was like,
to this day, she thought that's what
to this day.
But I was like, I put my intention, yo. I didn't think that. Like, you know how crazy of a player move you got to do to know that? Like, I'm a like.
People do that though, Rel. People definitely do that,
right.
Rel. But I'm here to tell you.
Who the fuck would do that?
Rel, many people, bro.
It's
not
people.
Like they'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna give
right,
this
you know it's something near and dear to me, and so you're trying to get my attention.
Rel.
So you're gonna and exceed it.
That's fucking insane.
People do it every day.
People do that
every day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want a homeless shelter? I got you.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll bring a pan of food. So I can get your
Listen,
attention.
He's so naive.
so
Fuck
nice.
you, nigga.
You would
I'm not
be
naive.
surprised. Like, I've had guys to try to get my attention just because they know I love Jesus in church.
Yep.
They'll be like, I love Jesus too. Let me tell you this scripture. And I'm like, well, where it come from? You know what I mean? Like, they do just the people will do anything to get your attention. And so, but that's not really like got my eye with you. It was really your love for God. And it wasn't just by your actions. I could really like feel your love. And I know it wasn't just an act. You were doing this far before you.
But how
met
did
me.
you know that? Was it when you saw me? Because you said you saw me playing the drums, right, to the gospel music.
Yeah, it was that. But I mean, I did my own little investigating. You know what I mean? I went down your page. I wanted to make sure there was no woman in the picture, right? I wanted to make sure there
Man, I
weren't
didn't
any
do that.
young children in the picture. Wait.
Well, it was young.
No. Harlem isn't considered a young child. Like,
You mean super young? What's
like three and
three
under.
and under? You got to know.
Dayla gave me some type of little thing the other day. She said if they under if they under 5, that relationship's still alive.
Oh wow.
And I said, wait, what? You've heard that?
That is insane.
If they're under 5, the relationship
That's so
is still
not.
alive.
That's so not true. People don't believe it. Just like sometimes shibbity dobos happens. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't no relationship.
Well, yeah, but so anyway, I was doing all of that, but what happened was, like, God has given me a really, like, stern gift of discernment, right? And not judgment, discernment. And I do believe that God loves me so much that he's not willing to let my heart be broken just because of a like or just because, oh, I just like how you look, right? Like he loves me that much. I've been through enough that he's like, he wants to protect my heart. That's my prayer. And so what drew me was I could see your love for God and I could see your love for his people and you're willing to serve in that capacity. You know what I mean? It wasn't just you listening to gospel music. You got some demons that listen to gospel music. So.
Well, you know what's funny about us too? We were in a whole relationship before we ever met. Saw each other again.
What does that mean?
Well, you remember what I said? I want to be with you. It was before you came to Atlanta. Like we didn't.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't even.
Yeah.
I like Valentine's Day. I just made the decision. Like, yo, you want to be together? Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to be with nobody else.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of made it really unique and special was so
Cause we talked all the time. Cause this thing about it too. What impressed me about her was when I was about to do the first table read for Harold and the Purple Crayon, and you was like, before you do that, can I pray with you? And I was like, what? And then I was like, well, if we do that, then we got to do it together. You go first, I go second.
Yeah.
And I remember hanging up the phone like, okay. Like this somebody, because I remember the woman I was previously dating before you, why I couldn't be in a relationship with her, I didn't feel like she can cover me, you know what I'm saying? Or she didn't have the same relationship I had with God. I'm like, I don't think I can do that. I need to find somebody that has, at least we can meet there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a great place to meet.
And then too, when we started leaving our voice, if you think about it, we kind of had an Instagram dating story. Like everything was DMs. So then we started leaving voice memos in the DMs.
Voice memo.
Yeah.
Voice memos, yeah. Like I could hear a little country voice, and it was sweet.
She got a country voice?
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. That's what I said. And so I'm hearing this, and I'm like, oh shit. And I love hearing her talk, but we was leaving these voice memos, but she was talking nigga shit with me.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, my nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was like, oh, damn. Because it's easy to put you in a box of, like, if you look at everything you're doing, like, oh, she's just holier than thou and all that. It's like, man, we was just talking like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was one of the reasons why I think me and your pops got along right away, because her dad, like, he an old school black man. Like, when we pulled up to the house, that nigga had a cigarette in his mouth. Like, he was waiting the whole time smoking a cigarette.
I was like, oh, Lord.
But I love that, right? And then we like took a ride and rode around and he was showing me everything, just telling me stuff. And it was like right away, because even still, we would talk about it to this day, you be like, damn, like, no, we got along
Yeah.
like perfectly fine. Like I would hang out with her father for hours. He my type of old black man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a young old black man. Like we literally pulled up on one of her uncles and he was laying down track. I love old black men for the South. They just go, yeah, you going to the wedding day? Yeah, I'll be there later. All right. And it was just we pulled off. And so like I'm just saying it was all these things like when we started talking, and that's why by the time we met in Atlanta, which is so crazy because I just bought that damn Lexus, the old school Lexus.
Judah hates that car.
We all hate that car.
Okay.
Damn.
That car hates that car.
Yeah.
It won't even start. That's how much that car hates that car.
Damn, the car don't start, bro. Damn. Waste. What a waste.
Anyway,
Oh, sorry.
the cool ass old school car I bought that none of y'all understand because y'all not cool like that.
Yeah.
It's literally the same car that Jay-Z drove
I was just about to
in one of
say.
his videos.
Yeah.
Imagine.
That's all I'm saying. It's fucking.
It's a cool car.
It's a cool car. Silver BBSs, shooby doubles.
Don't worry.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
Sure.
what I liked about that was, like, we first hung out, and I can remember coming to the lobby. You was talking about my little walk or whatever. But I like the fact I like pulled up, took in the Lexus, sounds bumping, and she ain't mind it. It wasn't a big deal. It's weird because I remember dating this girl who's like, you play your music that loud? Yes, nigga, I'm from the hood.
I like it.
And
You
so
like that?
and she didn't, man, she was with it. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to hide that side of me because she for the shits.
Yeah.
Even when I took her to like, Boogaloo. Like, we went to like,
Y'all went to Boogaloo?
yeah.
You got to remember now, I'm from Atlanta, I'm from Mississippi, but I lived in Atlanta for 17 years. He was just taking me to places he liked, but I already knew these places.
Oh,
I've been there for 17 years.
Y'all
Like,
was out there eating them 50-cent crab legs
Yeah, we was
on that damn
We
swing?
was on the swing.
Y'all was on that swing together?
What song did you mess up?
Pressure. So the girl that was sitting next to me, she was singing, and I thought she was saying Precious. So I turned around and I started singing it to him, and I'm like, Precious? He said, babe, no. That is not what they saying.
And she was singing a shit out of Precious. Dun, 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 dun. Precious. I'm like, baby, no, it's pressure. It's pressure. You saying Precious? That's what you thought the song was the whole time?
Yeah.
Precious? She was like, Precious.
No, Monique
And she
had
was
made a
singing the
song.
shit out of her. I had to stop it like,
Monique had made a song. She funny.
Precious? It's pressure, baby. Yeah, no, I mean, but it's one of those things where, like, I'm more or less impressed with her because, first of all, she goes on live every single morning.
Every morning.
With this Bible class she does,
Right there.
which is crazy, which is also interesting, too. You came out here
Yeah.
to support the babies,
Yeah.
their dream.
Yeah.
They end up on Kenan, which was on NBC, and that was a big deal where, like, it's not a lot of time where the sisters actually play sisters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which was crazy as heck, which was dope as fuck. But then, like, now you're walking into your own realm of things. Like,
Yeah.
what does that feel like now? Like, because now you walking into your own stardom to me, like your own everything.
Her own lane.
There you go.
You branded the mess out of her.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's interesting because it's a where between, if I'm honest, it's scary, but it's so exciting. It's so exciting because, up until this point, I've done everything for everybody else. I've always been, that cheerleader in the background, champion everybody else. And, even with the career change, because when I was in Atlanta, I owned my own hair salon. I was corporate America and owned a hair salon. And then the career change was, hey, okay, we're going to come out and we're going to deep dive into film and TV. And then God literally threw a curveball and shifted me. And I didn't even see this one coming, right? There was a call for ministry. And it's called Classes in Session. And although some people view it as a Bible class, it's really just an open table to help people get a seat at the table or build your own table, right? You don't have to wait for someone to give you a seat. You can build your own thing, right? And it was birthed out of just wanting to be more disciplined in life, right? And it was like, yo, God, I feel stuck, right? The show was canceled, unfortunately, so the girls weren't working, and we were just kind of finding our bearing again. And it's like, yo, you're reinventing me, like right now, in the middle of this, like in Hollywood? My God, what's up, right? And so in that cry, he was like, well, get on live every day. I was like, well, that's ridiculous. Why would I do that? And it's only 3 people showing up. You know what I mean? Like, what's happening? And so, but God was teaching me discipline, but he was also using it as an opportunity to birth this new, beautiful place that I'm in. And it's scary because I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't feel adequate, right? I don't think anybody feels adequate, when they're doing something that, they're not really familiar with. Like, but it's exciting because I know that I'm not leaning on my own and I'm doing something for myself, right? I don't have to worry about if you want to get up in the morning and do it with me. You know what I mean? Like, I can count on myself. I can hold myself accountable, and it's doing crazy. Like I'm traveling all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
You're doing you.
Yeah.
That's the key. You know, you may, like you say, it's scary. It's like a little nerves. When you're really good at something, you still get nerves.
Yeah.
But once you get in it, you're in it, right?
Yeah.
So you're going 5 days a week or 7?
5 days a week.
Okay.
And it's like 8 a.m. on the West Coast. And it's fun. It's beautiful. I bring in guests. Like this week, I had a pastor friend of mine that's really near and dear to my heart. And I've had the credit queen there. She's helped. I call them my cousins. She's helped with credit. Next week, I have a guest, and it's the mental health awareness month, and he is a survival of suicide, and so he's going to come and talk to us about it.
Wow.
And so it's like, again, it's a table where we can just talk about like real life issues. It has biblical principle, but it doesn't discount anybody out. You know what I mean? Like sometimes religion can tell me I got tattoos, so yep, God ain't gonna like that. Oh, you wearing that? God ain't gonna like that. Oh, you've had this type of addiction. Oh, God he ain't gonna be down with that. You've been divorced. And so what it does is it feels like it gives people who feel like they were the black sheep. Mm-hmm. Like it's a table for us. We welcome. And we showing up.
It's so beautiful that I think that's what makes it dope when you're doing that is, it's changing people's lives. Like we talked about this. It's transforming. We're watching it transform people, and there's people that's walked up to me or you like, oh, I love her class. I want you to. I think that's what's so amazing about you too. It's very. I think this is what's really interesting about being with you. You're like phenomenal. I'm a phenomenal person. Like you just like, I don't even know where I would be in my life right now without you, type of thing.
Are we crying on this episode?
Yes.
That's really sweet.
No, but it's the honest to God truth, and I've said this to you anyway, but you're phenomenal. Like April's known me for a while. She's seen me run these streets.
Yeah.
And so, shibbity doubles,
That's interesting.
Definitely has a different aura. Like you glow.
Oh.
Yeah, you really do.
So we're crying on this episode. Thank you.
I guess we.
It's funny. On the way over, I've been reading this book for the last couple of months. I have it on repeat. It's called The Mastery of Self. And in chapter 10, it talks about how relationships are mirrors, right? And often what you like about a person or what you don't like about a person is really something that you internally are dealing with. And so when you say things like that, it's because you see the best part of you. It's not that you're just saying that I'm this phenomenal person. Truly, you are a phenomenal person. And it took you recognizing that even subconsciously and like even if you don't know that you're saying it out loud, like something inside of you knows that you're a phenomenal person. You wouldn't have been able to attract me, and vice versa. I wouldn't have been able to attract you.
Yeah, he's not gonna say he's phenomenal.
He is, though.
Yeah. And even what you're talking about, how you are on live and you are changing people's lives on your live.
Yeah.
And now she's taking that at the helm and making it her own in her own lane and doing it because it was already meant for her.
Which is when you do things with good intention, that's just what it is. I think that's why, just even us blending our families together, it's weird because if I think about it, the children got along quicker probably than we thought. Like when we first took them to the two, so I met with her oldest first.
I was so nervous.
So you met with him?
We went to catch, had dinner, Dale and Dayla, and we sat with them. And yeah, you was nervous. She was super nervous because she was like over explaining each other to each other. It was like, all right, Jesus Christ. We sitting here because she'll narrate everybody.
Don't you start that.
So, like they're not sitting there. It's just the funniest thing. And so, but that was nice. But then with the youngest, we brought all them together and took. Oh, I guess we all went to catch. Catch is my spot. So
I'll say he's a catch again, huh?
And I think they all were nervous.
Yeah.
But then, they just hit it off.
And they're around the same age, right?
Yeah.
The youngest.
But it was just like, even now we just had them, everybody was here for Dana's birthday. Try not to call her Russie because she ain't gonna like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that even just watching that, like, wow, like they really extremely like get along, which made it make sense for me and you, to be honest with you. I'm like, if they getting along like that,
Yeah.
because even in Hawaii, you know what I'm saying? Like they just
Well, I think for them, they want the best for their parents. They love us and they want us to be happy, right? And I know for my girls, whatever cost that is, right? They think you're super. First of all, my kids fanned out when they found out. Mama, wait, what's his name? What's the character from Bird Box?
Charlie.
Mama, you on the phone with Charlie? I was like, who?
Charlie.
He is the savior. He saved like his friend's mama. Oh my gosh, right? And literally they ran up the hall and ran upstairs and screaming back and forth. And I was like, y'all are like bogus. Like, what in the world? But they were fanning. And for the longest, they would not even talk to you. You were like, what's up? And they'd be like, run, right?
So funny. I thought you were going to say Uncle Drew. You
No,
said
it's
Bird
Bird
Box.
Box.
No,
they're
no.
Bird Box fans.
Yeah, my kids are,
Yeah.
they're weird and for all the right reasons. And so, you know, it's the kids weren't the big thing. It was him. And so, but they, at their core, my oldest said, Mama, listen, yo, youngest about to be a teenager. Ain't nobody gonna want to fool with you in a little bit. Like, your kids are gonna want to do their own thing. You need to go and find your life partner. You need to go and find your happiness. And I was like, you ain't got to be in a person. She was like, no. But once you find your happiness, you know the person will come or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. And so they can see that I'm happy. They can see that I'm excited. They can see that I'm taken care of, that my heart is being taken care of, right? And because of that, like, they can relax. And of course, then they love Brittany and Judah and Harlem. And they already are like, oh no, those are my little siblings, or those are my siblings, right? Because we do family well, right? And same with his kids. And so yeah, it's a beautiful synergy and energy.
Yeah, it's interesting because like when I brought her to Chicago the first time to meet, you know, my aunties, uncles, and everything, it was just like right away. Like, it was funny too because you know my family would break out and sing.
Where y'all go, Hamada?
We get to Hamada, so you know they got a second location.
Seriously?
Hamada, Japan.
Which one did y'all go to?
It's a second location.
Where?
Out there. They literally
Philly?
built another. Yeah, they built another location.
I need to know about that.
Me and Matt went. Damn it, rented it out for next to nothing for me and my family. When we went, it was just us there.
Yeah.
Is it a private one or something?
No, they had just literally opened. Me and Matt, I was like, yo, this is perfect to bring everybody here.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
me and Matt went for lunch. You're like, oh shit, we got all Hamada,
He
Japan.
didn't tell me. He was like, we're gonna have dinner with my family, because I do Tuesday family dinner with me and my girls, right? And so it's a thing. And so he was like, oh, we're gonna have Tuesday family dinner with my family, right? And so I'm thinking like 3-4 people, right? Y'all,
Oh, no,
we
no, no.
pull up, and it's like
We had
a
like
host of
three. We
people
had like
on the
3 tables,
outside.
didn't we?
Right, it's some people on the outside. I'm like, this can't be his family, you know what I mean? So I'm just walking by. He was like, oh, what's up, y'all? Oh, hey, Aunt Jenny. Hey, and I was like, wait a minute, you know him? Wait a minute, this is your family? So I got good with that. It was about 6 people at first. And I was like, okay, you know, 3, 6, not that far apart, right?
They on the way.
My guy. When I say they on the way, it was like
It was
30 of them.
It was everybody.
Yeah, 30 at least.
Everybody.
But it was the
I
most...
had to argue with my Uncle Marshall about who paid. Like, he still bring it up to this day about me paying for everything. He's like, hey, Doc, you know, I could have helped. He keep bringing this shit up like, dude, it's okay. I took care of it. Yeah, Doc, I mean, you know.
Uncle Marshall.
I coulda
Hey,
helped.
Man. He want to help, man.
It's like, nigga, I got it. You've done this for years.
Yeah.
It's literally okay. Yeah, I know. Because you know old niggas will grab you by your neck, squeeze it, but you know I could have, you know, I was prepared to. Say, man, would you leave it alone? All right, go ahead, babe. I'm sorry.
No, but I could, in that moment, that's really funny. But I could tell why he is the way he is. You know, his heart, his servitude, his gratitude, just like his patience and his, like, he's so inclusive. He always wants everyone to have, like, a seat at the table. He's like, yo, I ain't get on just to be on myself. Like, you got something you working on? Come on, let's do it, right? Because his family is like that. I mean, we went to family dinner. I think it was somebody's graduation, but we celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, like graduation, everything, whatever. Like,
That just one dinner. It really,
just
really
one
was
dinner.
that. Like, that was funny.
Literally. But what I love the most is they made me feel like I was always a part of the family. I didn't feel separated, singled out, like everybody. Like me and Aunt Jenny literally text all the time.
Oh, wow.
Like that's my BFF. And Aunt Josephine. Like they're amazing. I love his family. But it really speaks to who he is.
Well, that's what's crazy when I went to Mississippi to see your family and I like hit it off with them right away. It wasn't like, it was very interesting. Like, once again, your dad turned into one of my favorite people. He's so fucking funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was so honest. I'm like, damn, all right, this is our first time hanging out. You telling me all this shit? But I love that about him, though. I was like, damn, all right. I think it's one of those things, even with your mom was just so sweet and just like, almost like she was like, why you ain't spending the night here? I'm like,
Oh, she's mad.
Oh yeah, he tried.
and I ain't stay at the
Got a
house.
hotel?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't, what?
What hotel you getting?
What
Terry,
room she
Mississippi.
So you be in this room? I'm like, okay.
And then Dinella, why didn't we stay back? I was like, oh my God, right? I know you didn't. But no, they absolutely love him too, right? And my dad is a real Southern black man, and he don't play by his baby. And that's one thing for sure, two things for certain. And but he always has, he loves Rel. He has really good accolades and really good thoughts and conversation about him. And he feels that I'm with the best, right? He's experienced me for 40 years at this point in marriage and breakup and, relationship. And he's like, all right, if I got to go today, I'm good with it, right? I know that I'm leaving my baby in good hands.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so, I mean, that has to be a great feeling for a dad. I don't know. I'm not a dad.
Yeah, I mean, I am. And it's so crazy because, with her, I already had Brittany, right? And now it's almost, when you almost inheriting almost four other daughters, it's like the protection part of it is like enhanced. Like, oh, fuck, who is this nigga? Who is this? It's like I'm even more aware now. Like, you know what I mean?
And it drives him nuts because I have a 21 and 20-year-old, and they living their best life, baby. L.A. is their playground. You hear me? Like I got one hot girl, Dayla, and it's like...
Hot girl Dayla.
Oh, my gosh. Like, Dayla, come on. Where you at today? She's like, don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay. But it drives him nuts. And I'm just like, listen, when you pray about, God's covering and protecting, you got to leave it at that,
But some shit is just dad shit. Like, it's just, which is nothing wrong with it. I think that's why I get along with your pops, because I get it. Like, it is something that's like, if you know what type of guy they talking to, like, oh, I know what type of nigga this is.
But they gonna do it anyway.
They is. And I'm not in a place where I'm gonna try to stop it, because I'm not gonna do that either. I just recognize what the hell is going on. Like, one of my favorite scenes in movie history is Bad Boys 2. When that little boy show up at the doorstep and Martin and Will go to fuck it. It don't even look like they wrote that shit. That little boy looked scared for real. Like, not as an actor. It looked like, damn, he didn't know they was gonna say all that shit to him. Like, that's the funniest thing in the world. Because it's like, but that's like how most of us think. Like, hey, fam, I hear you. Cool, that's what it is. Like, I already know in my head, like, Brittany recently just told me she got a boyfriend.
Huh?
Yeah, she finally said it to me.
Brittany.
And I'm like, and she was like, Dad, it's uncomfortable talking to you about it. I'm like, but look, don't be, man. Like, I don't care like that. Like, fam, why wouldn't you? You're a pretty girl, you're stylish, shibbity dubbos. And I'm like, look, just show me a picture of the boy. And it looked goofy ass little nigga. Like, I mean, look, I'm sorry. I know I said
Right.
But I mean, but you know what's weird? He looked so goofy that I was okay with it. She showed me, I guess, his best picture. I'm like, this nigga? That's fine.
Rel, what are you, 13, 14
No, but if you
years
see a
old?
little cat, like a cat posing too hard or something, it's like, fuck, who is this dude? He was just like, oh, this the picture you gonna show me?
That's his best picture.
Like, all right.
It's like when I told you that Dale, my oldest, she lived with her boyfriend, right? They had moved out. And he was like, your daughter? I was like, yeah. He was like, they live together. I was like, yeah. He was like, people do different things. They do it their own way. I was like, when you meet Reed, you'll understand. He is not a threat. I love Reed. And
Every boy is a threat. But Reed is a good guy.
Every boy's a threat. What does that mean?
What
Rel?
does that mean?
What the hell I just said?
Well, I know. Can you elaborate, please?
Exactly what I said. A young guy. They still trying to figure shit out.
Oh,
But let me say this. I like Reed a lot. Reed is a part of that whole thing. I remember one of the first pictures I ever saw on your Instagram. Reed was on that. Like, is that your son? Or this nigga posing with y'all? Like, who this extra nigga?
Yeah.
how long Reed been around?
Reed been around a while.
Since we moved here,
I'll
they
see what it-
met when we first moved here, and then they kind of like reconnected during a protest, Black Lives Matter protest.
Reed seemed like he be in a protest.
He was leading the protest.
Reed
is the protest.
Reed made a writer strike song.
Yeah, he did.
Like literally.
Oh wow.
He made his own writer strike song that nobody was saying with him, just him. It's really funny, but it's like, damn, nigga, what did you? He was doing that shit all night. I mean, but Reed, that's why I like Reed. One thing I love about your daughters, and especially Dannella even more, is that I remember like, I think I talked about this recently about, Harlem is on the spectrum, autistic. And one of the things Dannella did was just lay on the floor with him one day, right? Just was in his world. And when she explained it that way, it made me, I mean, it was that, and also when Dana started understanding that he was good at sign language.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, Harlem can communicate well. He's done it through sign. And I'm like, oh shit! Like it was just, which is what I think that's what I love about your kids. Kids in general, man. Like she was just like she was just in his world.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I started doing that instead of trying to get him to convert to whatever our shit is.
Yeah.
Right? And just sit in his shit. And it just made things easier.
Yeah.
Actually, it's like, oh.
Well, you learn.
I love that about her. When she did that, it was such a breakthrough moment for me.
Kids are very like. They are the leaders, and a lot of times we think as adults that we have it all together and we know more. But I'm telling you, some kids know about AI. Do you know what AI is? Like, are you fluent in it? Like they are just like really savvy with our future and with where we are now. Yeah, we know history, but can I tell you, your kids really ain't using pencil and paper at school anymore. They're using iPads, and so you're trying to teach them old, antiquated things, and them kids like, man. Right? We don't need that. But I'm saying that to say is that you can learn a lot from kids emotionally. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like physically, like they will get you together. And they are really, really good when it comes to learning other kids. And like the girls are fluent in sign language. And I don't know why they just started doing it with Harlem. But I mean, it really taught me that you don't have to force your children to do what you want. You don't have to domesticate them and make little mini yous, right? Give them a chance, right? Like Harlem has a beautiful world that we're missing out on because we want to pull him into our world instead of just getting into his, right? I like the fact that he don't want to talk to y'all if he don't want to talk to y'all. Like me too, my God. Like
Right.
I don't want to talk to y'all sometimes,
for
right?
real.
But that's the beautiful thing about children, and the beautiful thing about Brittany and Judah. Like if I could hand paint the perfect son, Judah is just like perfect.
And being a Capricorn, his birthday January 5th, he's amazing. I know
Listen.
those people.
So you don't get the same birthday.
Dayla is a Capricorn.
They got-
Really?
Yeah, same
Judah
birthday,
and-
January 5th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wayne.
Great guy. Great guy. Shout out
I bet you can't make fried rice like Judah.
I'm not going to say I can't.
He made fried rice.
He made, and that's your favorite meal.
So I bought one of those like yolk things.
A walk.
Wok, whatever. A long time ago.
Thank you.
What I used it was my crab leg pot to watch Last Dance.
What?
Yeah.
So when I was making crab legs watching Last Dance, I would eat out that pot. That was my crab leg pot.
Okay.
But Judah actually used it correctly. He made fried rice in it.
Have you been to the China buffet?
Yes,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, we all have been. He said, yes, yeah. And my kids are hype about it.
Huh?
Mr. Rel going to the China buffet? We want to go to the China buffet? He done made it a thing, like a field trip.
First of all, that's so country to say China buffet. It's a Chinese buffet. But
Sorry, we pronounced your place wrong.
China buffet.
The Chinese buffet.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, it's a great fucking spot. Like it's like
Okay.
What he doesn't know is that's my dad's favorite food too.
Of
Like,
course. Of
like
course it
literally.
is.
And so when he took the girls, they was like, "Oh yeah, we really like him." Like he like Pawpaw.
You pawpaw.
Pawpaw.
Real, you pawpaw. Hell no, real pawpaw.
Yeah, but
Chinese buffet.
that's so funny. She's so from Mississippi. Like that. Like when I went to the city, their whole family, like, it's their family basically living in that city.
Yeah.
It's like he was telling me, this the church the grandfather built, and then went over there, and then they got over here, and then I was like, what are you talking? So all y'all live here?
Yeah.
All this land?
Yeah.
Like, they have so much land in Terry, Mississippi. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. That's what you call Black generational wealth.
That they don't talk about, though, actually. Like, it's very interesting, which is like, I don't know. Like, when you told me that one day, I'm like, what? What land? And then when your dad took me around, like, y'all own all this shit?
Pastures.
Let's build a studio or something here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Let's get this tech, you know what I mean? Let's get it cracking. Because I'm like, it's like hella land. And it's interesting because, I mean, you talk about this all the time, or most recently, you're like, damn, we should really fuck with this shit and build shit on it. But then when it's almost tough changing old mentality. Like, just happy to have the land, but like, you have to benefit from this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think, too, that's where we're just, like, not educated, but undereducated in. It's like my family just saw it as, I grew up on a farm. And so, and yes, I mean, it was very lucrative, and we have cows and horses and all that, right? But to think of doing something outside of farming with it, someone would really have to educate them in that area. And I mean, it's like old people, they kind of stuck in their ways. My daddy like, you build something on this outside of that, and take it out of it. And it was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they farming still.
Dude, it's hella land, though, fam.
Wow.
Like, it's like...
It's roughly about 10,000 acres.
10,000 acres?
Yeah.
Building studio, man. Let them know.
Give or take. It may be a little more on
like,
that one side.
At some point, I mean, me and her
You're
talked
looking
about
like
this.
that. I grew up there, so for me, that's not a lot.
It's when I saw it, like, maybe and once again, your dad was taking me around. I'm just like, yo, like we could make millions
Yeah.
year round.
So what do y'all flying to? Jackson? Mm-hmm. So how far is Jackson from Terry?
About 35, 40 minutes.
Oh, that ain't nothing.
It ain't that far at all. And then it's like, first of all, it's like,
Well, that's because there's no traffic. No
But that's
such thing.
well,
that's perfect.
You know, I do car services everywhere, so we literally get the same exact driver because it's only like one or two.
You got one car.
car services out there.
Seriously.
So it's like literally, you go to it's literally the same lady every time.
Yeah. She's so sweet.
We just need to build some hotels and build some studios.
I necessarily want to build. If anything, me and her talked about this. Maybe like a studio, but like you could put everything. Like you almost got to do what Tyler Perry did, where he put living spaces on his studio and all that, so everybody stayed in that bubble.
Yeah, so what we have done traditionally is that we set up an inheritance for our children. So what would be the birthright of my children would be to deed off their section of what they have. And then, they can do whatever they want to, which is how I, got mine and my sister got her land. And so whatever I want to do with it, there still will be a portion of it that's deeded to my children.
But that's what I'm saying. By doing that, also giving everybody has power in their production coming to the studio, like they all have ownership of it. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, but it's also a way that we've taught generational wealth, right? Because one thing my daddy say is that one thing they ain't gonna build more of than this land. So if you can obtain anything, your wealth will come in land, right? And so that's something that's really stuck with me. And so wherever I go, even in Atlanta, I'm trying to figure out how can I, acquire and own land. You can own these buildings, but I want the land, because what a lot of people don't know is when you live in subdivisions, you may own your house, but that little plot of land that you're on still is sanctioned to whatever county, and it's not really yours.
Yeah.
Especially when you live in one of those neighborhoods where all the houses are the same. If your house was to catch on fire and you rebuild, you have to rebuild just how that house was, right? Because you're not a true owner of that.
Right.
And so I want to teach my children financial literacy and what wealth actually looks like. And so it started with me with land with my family.
Incredible, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things we talk about all the time. I think I'd say this to you. One of the things I want to set up this summer is just, having Shar or my business manager or whatever, just come talk to them about all that shit. So they'll just have to be very knowledgeable of all the financial things.
Yeah.
Which, that's one of the things I think I love about you and I love about what we're trying to do is build that together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is based off these very intelligent children. I mean, and I'll say this to you real quick. I think that's one of the things I love about you as a mom. I think you're an amazing mother based off they're all very comfortable talking to you about stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that didn't exist for a lot of us growing up. We couldn't talk to our parents about certain shit.
I think y'all both do that with y'all kids. Give them all a voice, their own voice.
Yeah.
And you hear them out, and y'all both are open to learning from them as well. So I learned that from y'all. So that's dope.
Yeah, because your baby is coming up, and so you'll have to learn and instill. But yeah, no, I didn't have a opportunity. Like, my parents were traditional Black parents. My mom owned and operated a salon, so I really had limited time with her. My dad did most of the raising, right? And he was military. Yeah. So it wasn't, I grew up where that kids are to be seen and not really heard. And what I took from that is I wanted to raise girls that were empowered to speak their mind without me feeling like it was disrespectful. Because just because my child has a voice and she has an opinion doesn't mean she's being disrespectful, right? Like, if she asks a question, well, why are we doing that? A lot of times, if I had to ask that question, it's like, you don't ask me, me that question.
Stand a kid's
right,
place.
right. But truly, we want them to have a voice when they become adults, right? And when they are entering into this world, we have to teach them that at home. And if we take all of it as disrespect or you being out of a child's place, then we're now like cutting off their ability to communicate. And you do that really well with your children, like, because you're a great communicator. That's one thing, that I really loved about you the more that we started to talk, right? And as I was peeling back layers, or we both were peeling back layers, and I was getting to know you, I was like, wow, he's a dope communicator. Like, therapy has helped him. And I remember him telling me, like, April really, like, introduced me to therapy, and I was like, dang, I want to really hug April. Like, I cannot wait, because I had never, up until I met Rel, met a man that was so open with his emotions and was a great communicator. I don't like that. I like that. Yeah, but no. You know what I mean? Like, conversation was, I don't know what your dating life is like, but, like, it's slim to none, like, to get a real conversation. It's like WYD. I used to hate that until you started doing it. It's like, is that as far as this conversation is going? What are you doing? Like, that's all you can offer. But you were a great communicator, but also you taught me how to, like, not just be a follower and just be so, one day, because if I can, one day, because I was in a marriage for 17 years and I grew up in the South, and it's a very, you're not going to fix his plate. You know what I mean? You're not going to wait until he get home to eat, one of those kind of places. I was taught that the man is literally the head and that's your leader, right? And so I remember saying to you one day, I was like, it's cool, you could be the leader. And he said, babe, I don't want to be your leader. Man, that felt like 1,000 knives. I was like, what? You are breaking down my domestication. I don't know what that means. I don't know what to do with that. What do you mean you don't want to be my leader? Are you taking away the responsibility and accountability of being, a man? And he was like, no, I want to be your partner. Okay, so he knows I'll hang up the phone and I'm going to sit with it. The next morning I'm going to think about it. And when I thought about it, and I had a conversation the next morning, I was like, yo, my guy's like, I want to empower you, right? I want to give you your own voice. You don't have to walk under my, like, shadow. You don't have to fall behind me. Like, we are in this together. And I had never heard that, seen that. And I was like, all right, like I can buy into this. I can trust him because he's not trying to control me. He's not trying to control the way our life will go, once we do this thing together. But he wants to partner with me on it. And Yeah, like that's really dope. And I really appreciate that because that actually fed into me being able to step out and do this thing called Classes in Session and be bold about it, right? Because I don't have to conform, right? And I know that I have a partner that will support me and not, feel some kind of way because it's doing numbers and being excited, right?
Y'all not in
Yeah, we're not in competition.
Yep.
I mean, that's one of the things, and I mean, where we at? Probably wrap this up. But it's, well, I'll say this real quick. Like, April, while you're here, I give you tremendous props for, when people are patient with you.
Yeah.
And, none of us are perfect.
Yeah.
But, April's a huge part of me wanting to better myself.
Yeah.
Like, she was there when I was on those stairs fucking bawling. I didn't know what the fuck was wrong with me. And it's like, I got to figure this shit out because that's why I get Dr. Shamina so much love. Like, I don't know how people switch therapists. Like, I remember when we was looking at it, I was like, her. But it is these things. Like, I don't think I would have ever met you if I didn't have those moments or decided to take care of myself that way. But that's a big part of April. Just casual, like, dude, you need therapy.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy about Dr. Shamina? I don't know if she's ever told you this, but at first she told me she wasn't taking clients. Like, I pressed her about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, April.
Thank you, April.
Oh.
You help equip him for me.
And that's crazy now, because me and Dr. Shamina like this.
Yeah, at first she wasn't. And I was like, would you make an exception for this person? And she was like, well, okay.
Aw.
It's so funny. One of our last sessions, she was just like, Rel, you're one of the smartest people I ever met, Rel. Like, it's so funny. It's weird therapy is because I know the way we talk now is almost like friends. And then in the way where I have to shut the fuck up and let her finish because I'm like, dang, you right. Fuck. Or she know how to unpack something I can't break. And it's like, she's like, well, I'm on this side, Rel.
Yeah.
You're going through it. I'm on this side, so I can do that. But you're so smart, and you're so, you're one of my favorite clients. Because you kind of can see where you're, helping them, which is interesting. They still human. They ain't, superhuman. You know what I'm saying? Damn, your breakthroughs, your thoughts, it's like, oh, I ain't see it that way. But sometimes we'll crack up, because I just go on one of these funny-ass tangents, and she'll be dying laughing. But that's where we at. I'm like, all right.
That's dope. It's really good.
So look, babe.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Wayne.
You're amazing.
Thank you, April.
You're so dope. Yeah, this was a great this is a great episode. I think this one gives me energy like when we had Tabitha here, actually.
Yeah.
Tabitha's dope. She's amazing.
But you are too, babe. You
Thank
really
you.
are. You're so smart, and just the way you explain things. That's why you touch so many people, and it's gonna get even crazier. You know what I'm saying? So I love you.
I love you too.
All right, y'all. That's been an episode of Keeping It Real with
Young Wayne.
And we out.
Keeping it real.
That was a Headgum podcast.